Hey, Red Shirt, what's up? It's the Culture Detective here investigating your favorite albums, and today I'm going to do an album review on the latest Jaubi album, Nafs at Peace. So, Jaubi is a Pakistani jazz group, and this is their latest album, Nafs at Peace. And, yeah, I discovered this album on RadioMusic.com, and out of curiosity, I checked it out, and I was actually pleasantly surprised because this album pretty much blends a lot of these very charismatic jazz flavors that are kind of usual and kind of average, but with very heavy Hindustani flavors, and it just creates such an interesting combination. And apparently they also teamed up with producer Tenderlonius and bassist Latarnik, which are two names that I've never heard of. So I went into the album not knowing what I'm gonna find completely. Anyways, the album starts off with Seek Refuge, which is an intro track with beautiful deep strings, vocal chants, twinkling keyboards, and it's a pretty atmospheric intro. I think it is alright as an intro, nothing all that special. But then the rest of the album really proves that this is something special with the track Insia, which is pretty mid-paced at first with rhythmic percussions and soaring woodwinds and also a bed of really soft guitars, and then it hits a point and then it bursts into these loud, noisy percussions and strings. I know there are specific names for these Hindustani percussion and strings and woodwinds. I just don't know them, but I know there's a name for those instruments. I know there are, okay? But yeah, it just becomes this really awesome, just rhythmic jazz cut with a very slick, charismatic bass, and also these keyboards that really reminds me of like in a silent way, and in a good way, you know? It's very cool and breezy. And then we have the track Raga Gurji Todi, which has these wailing, eerie strings, which then explodes into these very fast-paced and intense instrumentals with just crazy hand drums, which I believe are called tamplas, and also more layered strings, and they're all just wailing on top of one another, creating such an intense atmosphere. Easily the most intense moment on the entire album. Anyways, the next track is called Straight Path, and this track is sweeter and more blissful. We have quick rolling tamplas and a more atmospheric instrumental, and we also have more woodwinds on this track, which sounds very free and lovely, and it's another really good track. The next track, Mosty, has a groovy rhythm, and also the woodwinds take more of a spotlight on this track, which is really cool. Again, we get a really cool and breezy bass, another pretty solid cut, which is then followed by Zari, which is a more slow-paced and low-key cut at first. And at first, it just feels like an average spiritual jazz track, but later it builds up to more of a groove at the end, which is, again, very bright, kind of colorful, very lovely, and has a lot of personality, and it's another highlight on the album for me. And then the album ends off with the title track, which to me feels more of like an average spiritual jazz track. Like, I've heard something similar on Kamasi Washington albums, except maybe on this track there are some Hindustani flavors, not enough to make it special or anything. We got some rolling drums, soft jazzy piano chords, and that is pretty much the track. But still, even though the album doesn't really open off or end off very strongly or anything, I think the tracks in the middle are all pretty fantastic, and definitely one of the better albums of the year, and one of the better jazz albums of the year as well. I'm giving my favorite track here is probably Insia, and my least favorite is the final track. I'm giving Jaubi's Nafs at Peace an 8 out of 10. So, have you listened to the latest Jaubi album for 1 to 10, how much is rated? Like it, and subscribe if you want more, and thanks for watching. Anyways, I will be reviewing Lingua Ignota very soon. Originally, I wanted to review Liars, but I give up. I don't want to review that album anymore. I give up. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it at that. Thanks for watching.